The Gospels have characters interacting with real-life things in the world around them. How does having seen the olive trees, the palm fronds, the thorn bushes with your own two eyes impact how you consider these stories? All of the above, yes. One of the privileges we had, I had mentioned that we were in the Garden of Gethsemane late at night, and the Franciscans, who are the custodians of the Holy Land, will not allow anyone to walk into the actual garden. But they did that night. They said it was only the 5th time that they had ever allowed a group to walk through there. And so we walked through the very garden of the Mount of Olives. And the trees there's 5 trees there. It's either 3 or 5, I can't recall. But they're around 3,000 years old. They're certainly more than 2,000 years old. And they're called the silent witnesses because they were there through Christ's agony. And so that was obviously profoundly meaningful. And I have to admit, I did pull a little olive leaf off of one of the trees. There's millions of them. So. And then another time, we were walking down a trail to the Sea of Galilee from the Mount of the Beatitudes, and the actual thorn bush that they use for the crowning was one of those bushes. And the thorns are about this big, and you'll draw blood instantly.
Yeah, they're not briars like we're used to.
No, these are hard and thick and pointed. So I suppose all those realities of the time near the crucifixion just bring it again more to life. Yeah.
It was for me. It was those thorns that really kind of did it. Because you go and you see these trees, these bushes, these things, these plants that have the thorns on them, and you're thinking, okay, well maybe there are other ones. And then the tour guide's like, no, it's the only plant that has thorns in this area, so it has to be that one. And you just think, my gosh, like. You take that, and if you were as careful could be with this crown of thorns, like you said, you draw blood, or it wouldn't be. But for them, you just imagine these centurions, these soldiers, and they're going. The pain, and we think of all the other things that are happening, but that in and of itself, just that profound crowning, being crowned with that suffering, was just for me a guttural experience of wow, that's. Even that simple piece of this whole puzzle, that was the passion, was just,
I think of how these ancient olive trees in the Garden of Gethsemane, that there was, remember one in particular that our guide pointed out that said this tree is easily, 2,000 years old and maybe even older. So this is that sense of those many places. Well, did Jesus walk here? Are we really in the footsteps of Christ? But then in that place, and powerful in the sense that the place of his agony is one of the few places where you can definitely say this is, Christ was here, and maybe around these very trees. But yeah, the thorns as well. Just I think having someone who's went to Catholic grade school from kindergarten on and having a crucifix in the classroom. I think sometimes as Catholics, unless maybe during the Lenten season we really engage the Stations of the Cross, I think, you see these images or you get used to seeing them and can maybe even be desensitized sometimes, but to see just, one of those thorns, I remember I've even took pictures of them, like to this day I can, think, wow, that's just one small part of the suffering that our Lord endured for us. So brings it very much to home.
Yeah, you wonder how humanly anyone could have suffered through all of those things. Yeah.